Sabonani, Makadi, hello and welcome to my channel, Kaya's Go-Go. My name is Subongile and that's Rizai. And I'm just sharing my journey back to the mother continent, Africa. And I've settled back in the country of my birth, Zimbabwe. I am in Bulawayo. If it's your first time on my channel, thank you for stopping by. If you've been following me on this journey, thank you, and continue to follow because there's more stories to come. So a few of my subscribers did ask me to share the expenses that we have here in Zimbabwe and compare them to the expenses that we had when we were back in the United States. So I have my little piece of paper here with a list of things that I thought I could compare with here and the United States. So the first thing that I have to compare, which has made a big difference, is the rent, mortgage, accommodation payments. We don't have any rental payment, any mortgage payment here. Our house is fully paid up, so it's zero. And when we were in San Diego, specifically in the Chula Vista area, we were paying for the apartment we were living in $2,125. That's a huge amount of money for rental payment, mortgage payment. And to have a zero amount just right off the bat makes a big difference, right?
Yeah, it does. And if you compare the area-wise, the rental in California was for a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah. And the next thing I have on my list to compare is what is generally called ZESA here in Zimbabwe, which is electricity. And that we are only paying between $10 and $15 per month, right?
Yeah, we pay about $10 in 6 weeks.
In 6 weeks?
In 6 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And we also have gas for cooking that we use. And we have, is it 9-kilogram tanks?
We have 2 9-kilogram tanks.
Yeah, and we fill those up
For
$36. And we go for a month or slightly over a month.
Right.
With the 2 tanks. And when we were in San Diego, we had what is called SDGE, San Diego Gas and Electricity. And that budget for us was $75.
Around 75. Yeah. When times were good, of course, we'll be slightly higher in winters.
Yeah, in the winter time when it was a little cooler, and even in the summer when people are running air conditioning,
it gets higher.
it gets a little bit higher. But in general, on average, it would be around $75. So that again for us here is a fairly decent saving, because for that electricity and the gas for cooking, it is around $46-50 that we are spending here.
Also, you have to take into account that we had some upfront costs here in Zimbabwe to put solar. So that's why our electricity is $10 in 6 weeks. It's because we also utilize solar.
Right.
During the day, practically everything runs on solar with that electricity. The ZESA electricity is just for backup to help charge the batteries on a cloudy day like today. There's no sunshine at all, but we still our solar still shows it's producing 100% of what it's designed for.
Yeah, and right. That is the one big thing that has made our electricity bill go down. The amount of electricity that we have to purchase, because it's pay as you go electricity here, and because we now installed solar, and you can check out the video in the description down below, the 2 videos that I did about the solar system installation here. And because of using solar power, we do not need to use as much grid electricity as someone who doesn't have solar. Okay, not sure where we stopped off because the battery just died on us. I had to change the battery on the camera, but we were talking about solar, that we installed solar at the house, and this is why our electric bill is very low. We pay $10, maybe 15 every 6 weeks for electricity use, and most of the time we are running on solar. So that is a great savings, $50 to 75 approximately. Maybe other months would be 80, 85 for gas and electricity in San Diego. And the next thing that I will compare is the phone. So here we budget about $20 for airtime. By that I mean the amount of money that we put towards making phone calls. Because in texting, we buy a bundle for texting and phone calls, and we put aside about $20 every month. And then for the internet, we have a budget of $105. It just increased recently for us because I buy a bundle from the network provider, Net1 here in Zimbabwe, and I was buying a bundle called 1.5 for $25, and that would last me about 9 to 10 days. They just increased it to $35 for the same bundle, and so we were at $75 the budget initially. Now we are at $105. And in California, for the phone it was $100, and for the internet it was $180. So it's a little bit cheaper here, but it's
very unreliable.
very unreliable, and also it's like you are scrounging, not using too many of your minutes, not getting online too frequently. Otherwise it would exceed this 125 that we have is our budget.
The other thing to consider or to take into account is that there is broadband in Zimbabwe, plenty of it, but where we are, we don't have it because they told us due to COVID they did to slow down, and then they trying to catch up. There are no supplies in terms of infrastructure, meaning cable wise, but we are on the list. So we are hoping that maybe in a month or two we'll have broadband, which is a lot cheaper than what we are paying for, and it's more reliable. But for now we have to use the what's Bongile described as 1.5. It's very expensive, it's slow, and it's unreliable because we're tethering from our phones to our gadgets.
Yeah. If there's anything that I wish we could get around is to get that broadband and be able to have internet much more easy than what we have right now. That's my only beef with it. But that's where we are in terms of budget. And water and sewage, our rates here, we are at about $90 for rates.
Yeah.
For water
Rates,
and sewage.
water and sewage.
Yeah, it's the rates, water and sewage. And for California, we were paying for water and sewage around 80,
Yeah.
maybe 90.
Garbage collection.
Garbage collection, yeah. So this is garbage collection, water, sewage, 90. I would say this is comparable. Yeah, it's just about the same. And then we were budgeting about $400 when we were in California for food. Yeah. And we have our budget right now is about $300 for food. Now I have a little garden that I I work on, and I have so much fun doing that. I'm a learning gardener, so I produce, but not big amounts of things because I still have to know the technical know-how of having better yields. So some of the produce we get from the backyard, and we buy the rest, and of course meat and other essentials that we need. But $300 is our budget, plus or minus. And for California, $400 was what we used for the two of us. Yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we also have a little bit of a change in what we buy. And I added that as an extra piece of budget for Zimbabwe. And we didn't have that in California. And that's food for our dogs. And that is, I put it at 50. That's what we kind of sort of use on average. Sometimes we use a little bit less, and sometimes maybe not more than 60, right? Yeah. So about $50 we budget for food for our dogs. We have these two German Shepherds that are really, really fun to have. And then the budget for toiletries here, I put it at 40, and in California it was about 50. Sometimes I'm not using that amount of money because I have the soaps for laundry, for bathing, the cleaning supplies, so I don't use it. But it's there, and it's comparable with what we had in the US. And then for fuel, for the cars, our budget here is about $80.
Yeah.
We haven't been doing too much traveling because of the lockdown, and just being careful on our movements since the whole world is still suffering from this pandemic. So we have $80 in terms of budgeting for fuel. We hardly are going anywhere at the moment. And in California, I was budgeting $140 for fuel for my car, but Zui had an electric car.
Yeah, I had an electric car, and I also had the option to work from home. So I used to charge my car once a week near my workplace, because there were several places where you could charge for free. So I didn't need to pay for charging the car, and I only did it once a week when I visited the office. So it was a really, really good deal. And if anyone is into green technology, that's the way to go. And it's fun to drive, and I was sad to do away with the car, because I knew when coming to Zimbabwe, electricity is a hassle, and it wasn't going to work very well. So I left it behind. But yeah, if you have an option to use electric cars, use them. And if you have an option to use free charging spots, use them. That will save you a lot of money. And then traveling here in Zimbabwe, right now we do a lot of up and down into town, because we're still fixing things around and buying things for our projects. But after a while, I'm sure we'll limit our driving to maybe, I don't know, the amount budgeted for fuel is okay, except when we do long distances, which, as she explained, we don't do those anymore, or yet, because of the pandemic.
Yeah. On a day-to-day, month-by-month, we kept it at 80, and like Zui has said, we're not traveling that much. It might change when we are starting to travel a little bit more and a little bit further, but right now that's where we are. So in terms of our Zimbabwean month-by-month budget, it totals to $731. That's what we are spending month by month. And our budget in the US each month, $2,970. That's what we were spending month after month. Right there.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
Yeah.
And it also helps if you plan your move. So if you really are planning to move once you're done with your work, or you feel that you are at a point where you wanna come back to Africa and live in Africa, make sure you have one major thing sorted out, or a few things. That is accommodation. Have your own accommodation. It's very, very important. Have your own transportation, meaning a car. And do some little things like put a solar panel here and there. It'll help you a lot. And if you prefer, you can also have a standby generator. We have one. We've never used it.
Yeah.
So be prepared, and you have a wonderful experience coming back to Africa. We're really having fun. We like it.
We love it.
It's every day is just beautiful.
Yeah.
There are problems, but in terms of where you live, how you live your life, it's really nice. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah. We have no regrets.
No regrets so far.
Not at all.
No.
I mean, we have a home paid up. The expenses that we're having, the fixer-uppers, those are some things that are not, if we're looking at the monthly expenses, those are not part of it, because it's a one-time fixing of something that may be broken, or something that needed an upgrade. If you watch my videos, I also have a video on how we got the electrical conduits updated, because this is an older home. So that's not a day-to-day expense. That is an expense that we wanted to do, because we wanted our electricity that is supplying the home to be a little bit safe in the way it is transmitted, right, and transported. So if we're looking at the budget for our month-to-month living, it is, what is it, a third?
A third, yeah.
Yeah, of what it was in the United States. So can't complain there, really. And having our big backyard. We were in an apartment, beautiful, beautiful Chula Vista area. Beautiful. But for that apartment, we were paying $2,000. And we have this big backyard where we can do whatever we want, real good privacy, and zero mortgage, because we bought our house. And we have a guest here. Hi. Hello. Okay, settle.
All right, settle down, Pata. Come on,
Pata,
down, boy.
Settle.
Sit, boy. Come on.
Sit.
Come on, good boy.
Good boy.
And down. Oh. They're still
That's
puppies.
our dog.
They love to play. The other one is ignoring us. But yeah.
Anyway, so in a nutshell, our expenses here are way less. Panther? Way less than our expenses in the United States, and we're very happy about that. And we are not complaining. And our friend here is not complaining either. So if you have any questions or comments, put the comments down below. Any questions, send them to my email, kayasgogo@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. In the meantime, take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you the next time. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.